What up, people? This is your boy WADR back in the HOUSE in the place to be. And I got another video for you guys. This is, in case you don't know, your boy with the flow, but this time is Wadi Talks. So, I want to tell a story about, I spit a lot of rhymes, it seems like that's what gets most of the traction on my channel. But, I want to be able to do podcasts and, I want my channel to grow from where it is. But, so I'm known as a musician, keyboardist, and I wrote songs, I released songs, and, they're pretty decent. It is what it is, but I had the ability to write songs and rap, and the musical part, the technical part of the music has enhanced like my rap because I've been rapping for like a good like 30. I ain't trying to do the math right now, but 30 something years, a good long time since I was 17 years old. And so even when I was 17, I was very raw, but like you could see that like, and a lot of people could see like on the block, I was known as the guy that was rapping, it was like, because I went from playing basketball, like I was a basketball player. I wanted to be a basketball player, but I would play in the streets a lot. And people knew me on, like always being on the basketball court, always having the ball. And then like, one day, one of the guys that I played basketball with at school, we was in like I think it was geography class, and he shared a rap. He was like, "Hey, check this out," and he shared one of his rhymes, and like I was like, "Bro, I could do that." Now at the time, I wasn't doing it. Like I wasn't even thinking about that. Like I was 17 at the time, and so he shared that rap, and then it was just like. Ever since then, I've been rapping. Like I went home, I wrote a little something, something, and then like I wrote like more than one, like it wasn't my intention, like, yeah, I'm finna be a rapper. Like it wasn't like that. It was just like, okay, I'm finna if he could do it, I could do it. Like I'm finna just come back and show him like what I wrote. Cause basically like it was just going into summer vacation. And so he spit his little rap or whatever in geography class. And so when I um over the summer I wrote me a little rap, and like when I came back I had like probably like four of them shits wrote, you know what I'm saying? And then I just thought I was the best already, but like I was very raw. And like, at the time, so this right here, what I'm going to talk about here is, so like I say, like I'm here and I'm trying to, I've been rapping for years, been going through a lot of different stages. And as you can see, I'm OG, a lot of what y'all guys call nowadays. But right here, I'm going to share with you guys like how I first started, not how I first started rapping. I just shared that, but I can get a little bit more in detail. But I'm gonna talk about like with my first show, the first show that I've ever done. Cause I just now did a show live on Tag. I ain't gonna let you know how that went, but so basically like my first ever show that I ever did, and so hold on, strap on, get your popcorn, and come on for the ride. So, back in the days, like I said, like when I was playing basketball, when I would be on the basketball courts, like in the east side of Los Angeles, they had a school called Holy Cross. And so everybody used to go to Holy Cross, and these were where the best ballers went in the hood, and there was a guy named Spider, that's a whole different story. I could tell you that. But basically like one of the best basketball players there was DJ Black. Well, he wasn't DJ Black, but we called him Pops. And like he would always wear like a Charles Barkley jersey, that type of thing. And like he, he had pretty good handles. He could his shot was all right, but like he could use his handles, and he could pass really well. And he was a short guy, relatively like maybe like 6'1" at best, and like he was like able to dunk. I was really impressed. Like he made me want to be short because of the way he moved, and he was still able to dunk. Like it was certain guys like that was short and they could still take off and dunk on your ass. But it was like so he was one of like the ringleader and one of the best shit talkers on the basketball court. And he basically lived like right around the corner from like we knew him. I knew him for years. I would see him all the time. But I never really interacted with him like that. But he, um, you know, when I got into basketball, I interacted with him a lot, and we would even hang out with him. Like he got me hip to parties and stuff like that because he was a DJ. So and like basically like he would take his, basically he was a group. I mean, he was a DJ, and he had a group. They were very popular. Like at least in like certain areas, like maybe in the school or like in the hood, certain areas of the hood or certain areas where people that, they kind of knew them and they probably was like about 10 deep and the name of the group was DPR. And so they were, they was doing their thing and I really looked up to them because I was a youngster back then. Like I was hanging with DPR like when I was 15 years old, 15, 16. And so like I just remember, like I looked up to him. Like I wasn't really tripping off the music part, but like as a result from like hanging with um, Pops, aka his name is DJ Black because he was a DJ. So he did house parties and all kind of stuff. He did clubs. He did all types of stuff. He was trying to get his name out there, and he was known in the hood. Like we had obviously if you know L.A. And you know that area. If Holy Cross, was over there. Was west of Wall Street or Main, and was east of Main and Wall Street. So basically, but the gangsters they respect him, especially on the more east side of the they know him. I don't know if he knew the people on the west side, but some of them people from the west, the more west side, they used to come to the park too. So some of the people that associated with them, they knew him as well, and the people from the east, they knew him as well. So, he was well known in the hood. Great DJ. They, people respected his music. They respected his game. They respected his hustle and what he was doing. So he used to throw parties. And so like DPR was deep, you know what I'm saying? Like they all used to freestyle. They used to rap and they used to do their thing. So once I started rapping, one day I went over to his house. I just went over there just on some like. Well, actually, I wanted to show him. I wanted to let him hear my rap because, like, what my sister used to like record, music on the. She used to record music on the boombox. And so, like, I started doing that shit too, you know what I'm saying? Like, later on, but, like, she would record them on the boombox. And so like you could see, you could hear your voice. So she was a singer, so she still could sing really well, but she used to record the songs on the boombox. And so like I saw her doing it and I was like, I could record my raps on the boombox. So like I would get like an old tape, like a tape with an instrumental, and I would rap over it. So like I let him hear one of my songs and he liked it. He saw the potential in me. And I was young. I was 17 years old. So he saw the potential in me and he was like, man, you should you should start rapping, bro. Like, you should like really get serious about it. Like, and so, and when I went back to school, obviously, that's a whole different story, but a lot of people was telling me that I should get into that. Like, I didn't take it that serious. I was just like, this is something I do for fun. And then I just thought I was that nigga, you know what I'm saying? But I think like knowing now, like I didn't really know shit, but I just had like a lot of raw talent, you know what I'm saying, at the time. But he saw potential in me and he was like, you should do it for real, like so when I graduated high school, got my diploma, you know what I'm saying, and my tassels, which is like over there somewhere, right? um 94, baby. Kennedy High School, right? Um, so after school, I'm kind of floundering. I really don't know like what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And so like one day I went over his house. I used to always go over his house. Like every now and then I'll be bored and I'll just go over there and see what he's doing. And so at the time he was working with an artist named Drew, but the guy went by the name of Drew Lou. And so they had a show coming up in Hollywood at I think it's called the Hollywood Pavilion or something like that. Hollywood Pavilion. And so he, so they had this show coming up and they were working on it, and they were also working on an album. He was, Black was the producer and Drew was the rapper, obviously. And so, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Black, bro, like he underestimated himself when it came to rap. Like I think he, he just wanted to do more like the DJ and producing side, but he was a really good rapper. He can freestyle. He could, I'm just like, why you don't rap, my nigga? Like you can do it, but he wanted to be behind the beats like Dr. Dre, because at that time Dr. Dre was the shit. That's they were just hot off of like the Chronic, and they was hot. He like hot off of Snoop Dogg's first album, and the Lady Rage was supposed to come out. That was one of my favorites, and the Dog Pound was, like, so it was, Death Row and that, they were hot back then. You know what I'm saying? This is even before Tupac, but Tupac was good too. But he wasn't in Death Row yet. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, he wanted to be like Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying, and DJ Primo, and dude had some really dope samples, you know what I'm saying, and he got me, like I would think about the samples he would have and like songs I could write to it and stuff like that. He was really dope. But like one day, him and Drew was rehearsing, and he asked me, "Can I join the show?" And like, do you want to be an extra on the show? Like basically, you just doing some ad libs or something on the show. And I said, sure. And so, I just thought it'd be like a one time thing. And so, like, we were rehearsing, I think probably like 3 weeks in. Um, he said, you know what? DPR? Wait, no, no, no. So, like, basically what happened was, then he got another guy named Stalaman. So, Stalaman was, hold on one second. So Stalaman was one of the best rappers on there. Like, yeah, it's like Stalaman, and then it was Zom. Like, I think between them two, they probably were the best MCs in that group. Um, and so Stalaman, and so Stalaman joined in too as an extra. So like it was first it was just me, and then it was Stalaman joining in as an extra. So, and then once Stalaman joined, then it was like you had DJ Black, Stalaman, so these are the founding members of DPR, and then you added Drew Lou, who they was working on this album, and then you added myself, who, is a new booty, don't know shit about shit, but and so and my name at the time was Sea Dog, you know what I'm saying? C dash DOG. If you could look around, if anybody who asks anybody who know me, I guess you could say like outside of my family, they call me C dash. But so basically, we were working on that, and then hold on one second. I'm taking notes because this shit was a long fucking time ago, and I want to keep up with the format that I had it in. So basically, we rehearsed and like we used to like freestyle. Like that's how I learned how to freestyle, like hanging with them. And they're just throwing the instrumental, and then like, Black would go in and Drew would go in, Stala would go in, and then I go in, and they liked the way I flow because like I had such a young, just in such a like very spontaneous way of how I rapped, and I rap better in the group. Like if we had a cipher, like I just get in that zone and I did my thing, so but basically, we had a manager too, like our manager, Bogues, you know what I'm saying? Like he was, like shopping our the demos and stuff like that. And so basically, when we got to the show, right? We got to the place. We was rehearsing, and we did all the rehearsing we could do, and um so when we did all the rehearsing we can do, and basically once we got to the spot, for some reason, like we were coming in together, and for some reason, DJ Black and Stalaman gets into a fight in the parking lot of the fucking Hollywood Pavilion. Dead ass. We got a show, and the DJ is fighting the fucking backup, the backup rapper, and that shit was fucking blew my mind. So me and Drew was just sitting there puzzled. It was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, we're like, what is this? Like, I never seen no shit like that, and I didn't understand it. Like, I didn't know what they were fighting over. But I think Bose got us together, and then like once Bose talked to like both of them, he talked to all of us, and then he got us back on the same page. That's why you need a manager because stuff like that, especially in a group setting. Like sometimes egos get in the way, and people can just lose all professionalism, and stuff like that can happen. And worst case scenario, Starlet could have rolled off. DJ Black could have rolled off, like and it could have just been a disaster. Because I invited people to the show to see, and then for like then when they been a show, you know what I'm saying? It possibly right. So like once we got in there, and then we was in backstage, and so like basically like I was rapping in front of people, like rapping in front of friends and teachers and family and stuff like that. But I never rap, and I was a really shy person. Like I was shy for a very long time. Like once I learned how to like learn some communication skills, like a little, and then I got better with time. Like I'm not afraid socially now, but like and for maybe the last 15 years or so, I was out of my shell. But like back then, I never ever like performed or did anything in front of anybody. So like I was nervous as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I fuck up? What if like they judge me? What if I just never did this? I could just go up there and I'm just be like this. So I was really terrified. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. But once they hit the beat, bro, combination of that, and I saw my dad, who my dad was a singer at the time. Like he did some real shit. Like he got signed, but I could tell you about my dad. My dad was, he did a lot of stuff that like I would love to do in my career. You know what I mean? But just make a little more money. But yeah, but he was there, and he was gonna support his son. You know what I'm saying? On this first show, my sister was there, and her friend Bebe was there. You know what I'm saying? So once I saw my dad, because there's something about my dad that like when I see my dad, even if I'm playing basketball, like I was the sorriest motherfucker on the court. I ain't gonna lie, like I was tall, but like I just didn't have the moves and whatever, and so like, but I can dunk. You know what I'm saying? I could do tricky layups and shit like that. But when it came to like dribbling, I sucked. You know what I'm saying? But like my dad, one day I saw my dad, and I'm at Holy Cross. My dad honked the horn, boom, boom. He probably was, he came to visit us, and so like one time I saw him, and I went right to the hole and dunked on all them niggas. Like it's something about my dad, like and want to make him proud, that it would bring out the best in me. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw my dad and my sister, you know what I'm saying, in the crowd, that just really made me feel comfortable, and it really made me, just kind of drop all anxiety. And once that beat ripped, it was a bad soft, bro. Now I don't really remember it because I think if I try to remember it, I might fucking trick the shit off. But I guess like it's something like this. This is an introduction to the DREW Drew Loop, coming straight out the blue, straight from the DPR click that flex complex rhymes and tracks that shakes and whatever the fuck. I forgot that shit. I think I said that Rex and shake rumps. My name is C-Dog, C-Dog. So step to the mic, and for now, I'm history. So this is Styler Man. Styler Man on the track, hit him up as I flex. Styler is my name, bow down in respect. Shit, I come off and flex my skills, now I chill. Throwing up the West Coast, yeah, you know the deal. Then Drew comes in. Styler, are you ready? Yeah, they ready, my man, for the ill pump that you got packed in your hands. But wait, let me say that right. Styler comes in. Styler, are they ready? Yeah, they ready, my man, for the ill funk that you got packed in your hands. But wait, let me give them words to rip out their heart and rip them apart and tear the spot as we rip them all apart. Say, I want my ill funk. 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 Yeah, but it was a lot doper than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't remember that. I used to remember that, like, it was very easy. But as you can see, If you don't go over this shit, you're not gonna fuck. You'll forget it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a really simple ass rhyme. But like, yeah, man. So we ripped it, and like everybody, man, they was going crazy up in there, bro. Like he did his song, what was called, shit, Ill Funk. That's what he called it. And they had the little, he did his shit, and we, we ripped it, And so my dad was so proud of me after that. And one thing about that, bro, like he told me that, like sometime later, I was working with him at the mall, like sometime later down the line, and he told me, son, I see something like you're gonna do something. I don't know what it is, but you're gonna do something really great. Now, is it gonna be YouTube? I don't know. I'm joking, but like he told me that it's I'm gonna do something really great, and like I believed him. And I was always shooting for it, and just having that. I mean, cause I already had belief in myself. It was just I just didn't know what I was doing. But I think like him telling me that, like it gave me something to strive for, and it made me think about that. Like every time things would get rough or it seemed like it was really rough, then I would think about my dad telling me that, because that's him giving me confirmation that he believes in me. He sees something in me that's special, and I need to realize that. And I'm a OG now. You know what I'm saying? And I take everything one day at a time, but I still believe it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be him telling me that, or just I manifested it, or that it's the God in me that's gonna make it happen. So it's just a matter of just knowing what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we don't know what to do. We don't know how to get there. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody gonna get there like that. But it's a lot of factors that go into it. You know what I'm saying? And basically after that, we did like more shows, and like obviously I was out of my shell. Like it was great. We got rave reviews, and we were almost gonna get signed by this group called Inner City Records. And so, but that night, that was a very special night for me. Like, I felt on cloud nine. I mean, like, I played basketball, like, sometime later down the road. And, like, every time I played, even if we lost, man, it was just so fun to be out there. And I think I felt that same thing being on stage the first time, especially with my dad in the audience. Now, other shows probably wasn't that special because, like, my dad wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? But I think like that show was a really special night for me. You know what I'm saying? It sound corny, really special night, but yeah, it was great. It was a great experience for me, and it really got me out of my shell as far as like performing in front of people. Like it let me know that I can, like if I could perform in front of them people, it's not gonna stop me from performing in front of shit thousands of people, or like like 20,000 people, 100,000 people. I'm not intimidated because hell, they there, and as long as I prepare myself, then anything's possible. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna go. I don't have my keyboard on. You know what I'm saying? So I have to use my finger, but. The jackass of the day. So who is the jackass of the day? That's I'm gonna have to say like Styler Man and Black. I'm sorry I had to do y'all like that. You know why? Because y'all motherfuckers should not have been fighting in the damn parking lot before the show. So for that, you are the jackass of the day. Next time I have my sound effects on, and it's gonna get better too. It's gonna get better. But yeah, so that's all I have for today. This right here is I'm WADI, better known as Wadi. I represent Groove Vine Records, and this is another episode of Wadi Talks. And on that note, I'm signing off, and I'm gonna give you one and the only cha to the chain. Deuces.